Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Welcome into an exciting Hump Day edition of the JP Peterson Show. Man, we got so much to get to, but I just got a message from our star guest today, which is Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil, we're going to celebrate his Hall of Fame induction into the Tampa Sports Club Hall of Fame, which I will be emceeing on June 5th. Get your tickets now. So really excited to have him on the show. We're managing his time, though, today. We had him for 10:30. He may need to do 11, so we'll have him on at some point. We'll move things around. Not a problem. So we're producing live on the air. What's up, Peter Blake? How are you?
What's going on, buddy? Happy Hump Day. Absolutely. It is a Hump Day edition of the JP Peterson Show. And somebody needs to tell the Rays to get out of this funk because I feel like they are not getting over the hump, if you will, versus the Red Sox the last two games there at Tropicana. What a week a difference makes, right? I mean, you take 3 out of 4 in Boston, and then you come home, you're feeling pretty good about yourself after that 5-2 road trip. And then what happens? Yeah, there you go. So,
it's, and we're going to get into the Rays. Last night, they lose 5-2. Sloppy play and crappy offense once again is biting this team in the ass every single night. It's so un-Rays-like, but this year, this is what they are. And, a couple days ago, I called for Brandon Lowe to be traded. I'm done with it. Great dude. It's, giving us some nice moments, but if we can get anything for him, move him. Let's get Junior up here, let him play second base, and let's go. And Brandon Lowe made a critical error last night, a critical error in a pretty easy situation in my estimation. You got a runner on third, 2 outs. They try the double steal, the Red Sox do, with a slow runner at first and Devers. Rortvedt throws down to second base, and Devers pulls up. He's right next to you. Tag him. You're going to get him, but instead he tries to throw home to get the Speedy Duran, bounces the throw, run scores. Just can't have it. These are the plays that the Rays have made routinely throughout their run. It's the Rays way. And these are the plays that they are routinely botching time and time again. It's weird. And Brandon Lowe is a really good, experienced second baseman, should not be making mistakes like this. Rortvedt's throw was not great. A mistake in execution. And those are going to happen, right? But you don't want the other things. And that's what the Rays have been doing. So let me set up the show, Peter. We got lots to get to today. Mm-hmm. We've got, obviously, Titus O'Neil is going to join us. Really looking forward to this conversation because as a member of the now Tampa Sports Hall of Fame, he'll go and be officially inducted June 5th at Higgins Hall. Again, get your tickets now. It's I think interesting to talk about his story again, and it's one of the great stories of perseverance and survival in the history of sports. And it's one of the reasons that he is so beloved in this area and is going into the local Hall of Fame. And one of the reasons he's so beloved by the fans, what this man has been through in his life and what he has overcome to succeed. It's one of the greatest I think, triumphant stories of perseverance in sports, and I can't wait to talk to him about it. And every time you talk to Titus, if you're not inspired, you don't have a pulse. You just don't have a pulse. And in the way he has been so candid about his very tough upbringing, I've seen him speak so many times, and I'm never disappointed, always inspired, and just one of the greatest dudes on the planet. So I can't wait to chat with him. We're going to have him. We'll figure this out at some point. It's 10:30, 10:45, or 11 o'clock. He'll be on. Eric Erlinson is going to join us because LightningInsider.com. Ryan McDonaugh back with the Lightning. Did not have this on my bingo board this offseason. No siree. But what a stroke of genius by Julien Brisebois. An absolute stroke of genius. So we'll get into that. Bucks OTAs yesterday. Chris Godwin took to the microphone, and I thought his comments were very, very interesting about his injury. It's something that we've talked about on this show quite extensively. And I think it's a big reason why he's going to have a huge season. So we'll get into that as well with Chris Godwin. Tristan Wirfs was a no-show for OTAs. Don't worry. Do not worry, folks. Tristan Wirfs ain't going nowhere. He's not going anywhere. He's been at every workout session. He's a constant fixture in the building. Just doesn't want to get on the field and risk injury. Totally get that. He's learning the offense, doing the mental reps, doing everything he needs to do. Superb teammate, but this is a strategic move. Has nothing to do with him being upset with the organization. This is just a matter of time and numbers. They'll get it right, just like they did with Mike Evans, just like they did with Antoine Winfield Jr. This is nothing to be alarmed about, but we'll touch on that as well as we go through it. Jaden Rashada. I read this story last night. He is the Gator quarterback that famously turned down the Gators at the last moment because of a $13.85 million NIL deal that went sour. Well, we now know, at least from Jaden Rashada, his perspective, what happened. And this is the first lawsuit that I'm aware of, and certainly the biggest and most prominent, that names the coach. Billy Napier is named in this lawsuit and not the University of Florida. I'm not, before you go crazy out there, I am not picking on the University of Florida here, because this is not what happened there. I think it may be unusual in a lot of different ways, but it's happening everywhere. And it's part of this whole wild, wild west of NIL. And this lawsuit is going to set some very important precedents about how coaches NILs move forward in doing their deals. So that's why it's important. We're not here to beat up the Gators. It's not what this is about, but we're going to talk about this in detail, what went down, what's being alleged, what's going on, and what this lawsuit is going to mean for NIL moving forward. So very interesting lawsuit. We'll talk about that. This news came down today. The Weatherfords, Will Weatherford and Drew Weatherford, former FSU quarterback, and Will Weatherford, Board of Trustees, USF, the one that put through the stadium deal. They've now started a private equity firm that's going to be working with college athletic programs and NIL deals as well, I believe, is part of it. It's not really sure. Weren't a lot of details on this. We're going to get more of it, but I wanted to delve into that a little bit because that's groundbreaking. Again, two very big groundbreaking stories in college sports that we're going to talk about today. So we'll do that. And just as an aside, I told you the lovely Ashley is now a stock trader. We're doing some stuff, and she's gotten some. She's on the FFIEI bandwagon. If you know anything about meme stocks, Roaring Kitty, Dumb Money, that whole deal, well, it's happening again with a couple of stocks. This whole thing is going down historically. Barnes and Nobles was one of those stocks this morning. You'll probably, if you're into any of this, you'll hear this. They halted trading on that stock again this morning. Historically, it's so the whole thing that went down with Dumb Money and Roaring Kitty. If you remember that, if you saw that with GameStop, the whole GameStop thing, well, it's kind of happening again in real time. And so, if you're into that stuff, they halted trading on Barnes and Noble this morning, so people could not sell their stock, just like what went down with GameStop and Robinhood. So shenanigans going on in the financial market. So look, we're everywhere, bro. We're everywhere. We're going to talk about all of it today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show as we hit on some of these topics. All right, so we started a little bit on the Rays, that whole situation last night. Zach Littell pitched really well, thought last night for the most part. Had a tough night, got hit by a foul ball. Had a sty in his eye that he had to get compressions. It was like kind of a weird night for him, but I thought he pitched really, really well. And the Rays jump out to a 2-0 lead. Hell, Randy Arozarena got a double in the first inning. Lowe starts out, first pitch hit. They get two runs quick, and then they have 2 on with 1 out. Don't get any more. The rest of the night for the next 8 2/3 innings, Butkus, nothing again.
Well, here's the highlight of that.
And there's a shot off the glove of Devers. Here comes Lowe in to score. Arozarena's going to head to the plate. He is safe at the plate. Ball loose. But not far enough to give Paredes a chance to move. He has driven in 2, and the Rays grab the lead.
So there you go.
Nicely done. Everything's rainbows and sunshine early on. And for the next 8 2/3, they slumber. Don't score a lick. Meanwhile, the Red Sox are chipping away here and there. They get the big play that we described earlier where Brandon Lau kind of blows that one. Jason Adams said he needs to take the blame for that. Nah, not on you, partner. This, again, sloppy baseball for the Rays cost them a game against the Red Sox. Should have cost them 3 games against the Red Sox, to be quite honest. That are going to matter when the season comes to a close and they get down to the nuts and bolts of it at the end. So I don't know. I said this a couple days ago, Peter. I think this team needs an overhaul. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it because obviously they're hamstrung by their revenues. I shouldn't say that, by their owner and how much revenue he puts back into the team and what their salary cap is. Yes, a self-imposed salary cap by the Rays ownership.
Yeah.
So, how much can Eric Neander move and shake to go out and try and find some big bats for this team and finally get some experienced hitters here that can do something in the postseason? Savali, I'd move him if I could. Brandon Lau, moving him if I can. Jose Siri, moving him if I can. Make room for youngsters, make some trades, bring in other new blood. To me, this team needs a makeover. Needs a culture change. It just doesn't feel anything like the Rays teams of the past. Nothing. There's just no juice to this team, no emotion. They had a closed door meeting. Cash, turned some tables over, did a little bit of won 11-15, went on a nice little run. But now we're back to 500, 50 games in, 25-25. Just kind of feels like where this team is. And I know there's some help on the horizon in terms of the pitching, but this offense is just dreadful. It's dreadful. And I don't know how much more they can improve.
I mean, you had 2 hits the night before. You get 2 runs in the first inning, and then after that, you get basically nothing. You're exactly right. Zach Littell, I thought he pitched his you-know-what off. But you can't win that way. And then on top of it, Jason Adam, who comes in and is only giving up 3 runs for the total year, gives up 2 in that 8th inning. And we talked about it. It comes down to when you have your bullpen in those high leverage situations, they have to get out of them, especially if you're going to play in those close games. And they weren't able to do it last night. So something's going to have to give at this point. Brandon Lau, I mean, how many plays, how many years do you have to put up with not only the injury situation, but defensive breakdowns, striking out at the plate, not getting it done? I think you have to eventually go with Junior Caminero, and I think that's what you're going to do here coming up. But when is it going to happen? And you're exactly right. Maybe there needs to be a shakeup. We know about Stu, and we know that they're not going to necessarily make the moves at the deadline to improve this team. But they may sell, because the rumor is, and I want to know what you thought about this and fans thought about this, because talk about taking the air out of the balloon. Zach Eflin traded to the Atlanta Braves. How would you feel about that? That would be a salary dump. And by the way, it worked out so well for the Braves in stealing the Rays pitchers and Charlie Morton. What did you go on and win 2 World Series championships or something? I mean, come on. I mean, this is, well, he did win 1, but didn't he win 1 with Houston also?
Yeah. Yeah, look, the Charlie Morton thing will always be the absolute best example of how this team is run and how it's handicapped. You don't pick up a $15 million option on a pitcher like that did so much for you, led the way for this team and all their success getting to the World Series, and then you just let him walk for $15 million, a starting pitcher. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And then he goes and wins a World Series with the Braves. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why fans are always are upset about the leadership on this organization. I mean, and the stadium issue is really, really coming to a forefront, and there's a ton of negativity that's going on with that. We're not going to talk about it here much anymore. Everybody else has kind of taken the mantle for us on that. I know a lot of you are tired of hearing about it, so we're not going to talk about it that much.
Yeah.
That it is what it is. You can go look at nohomerun.com, and they are building huge momentum. And again, it's not because we don't want the Rays here. We just, it's, and by the way, the renderings on the inside of the new stadium look really good. The outside is ugly as hell. It's like a freaking Walmart. But whatever. And Hines is having a lot of issues in terms of their developments. They've stopped a development in San Diego, a $4 billion Riverwalk, because of economic conditions, the same economic conditions that exist in St. Pete. So how much are they going to be able to, or even want to build, because they're not compelled to do so in this agreement until 10 years in. And only at that point complete 33% of the other development. So there's a lot of issues with this deal that, we kind of predicted would come up, and a lot of these groups are pointing these out. But again, we're not going to spend time on it here. It is what it is. If it goes through, and I hope it works out, and it's fantastic for everybody, I just don't think it will. If it doesn't go through, hopefully they can pivot back to Tampa. And I'll give you this little tidbit.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke with someone in the development world, big time developer, and he told me about a deal that was being talked about for the fairgrounds and Hard Rock, with a nice bridge over the top of I-75 leading to a resort type destination anchored by a ballpark.
That would be a particular place, wouldn't it? I mean, we've been talking about it for years now. I mean, that's the place. And
I've always wanted it to be. I think baseball's an urban game. It should be downtown.
Yeah,
but that would be a much better location than St. Pete. And that's what we're all about. This is not about Stu. This is not about any of these other things. It's about where baseball will thrive in Tampa Bay. And that's where baseball will thrive in Tampa Bay. You build a battery and an entertainment complex on that huge piece of land. You got a lot of opportunity there. Knock down that awful amphitheater, put up a real one, or, use the baseball stadium as an amphitheater. You do that too.
Sure.
And then you've got huge corporate backing there, obviously, with Hard Rock and tons of money. Lots of ways to monetize that through sports gambling, right? Sportsbook in the stadium, that would be nice. So that would be, I think, a huge win. And I think it's completely doable. A true public-private partnership that would benefit everyone. So hopefully that happens. But right now, what's on the field is meh. It's mediocre at best. It's not, obviously the Rays are one of the worst in attendance again. This ain't changing with that location, as we all know. Mm-hmm. So I'm for a shakeup. I want a shakeup. Get rid of those guys that we talked about. Remake this team. I don't think you're going to hurt it. I think you would help it. And if you trade Zach Eflin, to your point, put that question out there, I'm okay with that. You've got some guys on the way that can help out in Rasmussen and Springs, and you should be able to get back some significant talent for that. And maybe even a young major leaguer with control that has a little bit of pop in his bat, So Neander is great at finding talent. These guys are tremendous at finding talent in other teams' organizations, underappreciated at talent. So let's make, I don't know how much you can get for the guys I mentioned, because they're all, damaged goods, have warts in some ways. But they also have upsides, and they have a track record of having, Brandon Lau at 39 home runs, right? If he can stay healthy, maybe he can help another club. Savali was good in Cleveland.
Stay healthy. That's the thing. You can't stay healthy, and it doesn't have the value at this point. And we're talking about 39 home runs. Was that an anomaly at this?
Yes. Yes.
Because he hasn't done that. He hasn't been able to duplicate that. And then you look at Randy Arozarena. I love Randy Arozarena. I love him as a fan favorite. But doesn't it seem like he's kind of affected by that one-year contract, how much he struggled this year? I mean, is that the guy you possibly could trade, as much as I hate to say this, to get value? And we keep on going back and forth to this, but there's something wrong with this team.
I don't have a problem with it.
Right.
I think there needs to be a major shakeup on this team. And I trust Eric Neander to do it the right way. If he could just get some, and boy, if you're trying to get a stadium, wouldn't it be nice for the owner to just open up the pocketbooks and go make a huge move, bring in someone who makes a lot of money and prove to the fan base, hey, we're committed to this and committed to winning? Wouldn't that be a great idea?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're going to need a new stadium, you also have that built-in sponsor, by the way, JP, the Hard Rock Casino, because you're embracing now professional.
Well, that would be the good plan. I'm talking about the current plan. Even if you're trying to get the current plan through, which obviously they are.
You're not going to do that.
And there's no, as far as we know, there's still no part of that agreement that binds the Rays to this new stadium for 30 years. That's not in there. It wasn't in there. Everybody asked about it. It's not in there. So first of all, you can't make a deal unless that gets put in there. My God.
Yeah.
And also, if you want to get this going, show the fans that you're committed. Go out and spend some money on a big slugger. Make a trade. Make a huge trade. I don't think it will happen, but I would like to see it.
I've heard this nonsense the last 2 years, and I know you want to get back to it, but I've heard this nonsense the last 2 years of how they're going all in. They're going to spend the money. I'll believe it when I see it.
That's right.
I'll believe it when I see it. Nope. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, we're in on Ohtani. No.
Yeah.
We're in on Freddie Freeman. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. No. How much do they make? No, you're not.
No, you're not. No.
All right. Ryan McDonaugh. I did not see this one coming. Yes, I work for the Lightning. Did not see this one coming. There was did everybody want him? Of course. Of course, everybody wanted to get Ryan McDonaugh back. Nobody wanted to lose Ryan McDonaugh in the first place. Totally salary cap. But what's interesting about this move, and if you hit near it right, they get Ryan McDonaugh back, and it's a second-round pick. And I know that the Bolts they've given away all their draft picks. F the draft picks. Give them all away as long as this core is viable, and this core is still viable, very much so. F the draft picks. Don't care. There's going to be a huge rebuild that comes after this core's time is done, and their time is nowhere near done. Kucherov should win the MVP. He's 30 years old. You have the best goalie in the world still, I think, in Vasilevsky. He's 30 years old. So you still – Hedman's, 33. Stamkos is 34. I get it. But to Braden Point, Cirelli, Chernak, Sergachev, we still have a core there that is very much in their prime. Couple guys on the back nine, but 12 maybe 13, but still very, very productive at Hedman and Stamkos. And what's interesting about this move is Julien Brisebois said yesterday they still have salary cap money available to get the deal done with Steven Stamkos.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, Julien has talked to Steven Stamkos, and this move does not get made unless Steven Stamkos is like, hey, can we get Ryan McDonaugh back? So clearly, I think this move is on the wish list for Steven Stamkos to show him, hey, we're still going to be competitive here. We're still trying to win. No, and I would not be surprised if Steven Stamkos told Brisebois, go get Ryan McDonough back, and I'll sign. I'll take less money if we can get Ryan McDonough. That's who Steven Stamkos is. I don't know this for a fact. That's just my gut feeling. I think this signals that Steven Stamkos is back. So how about that? And if you're wondering how important it is, well, the 4 years that McDonough played here in goals against, this is from John Romano's column. He did a really nice column on this whether McDonough is the missing piece. 5th, 5th, 9th, 6th, and 6th when Ryan McDonough was here. Obviously, 2 of those were cups.
Sure.
Since he left, 14th, and last year, 22nd. Now, one man does not a defense make, but those numbers matter. Those numbers matter. So you remake the decor to be exactly the way it was, at least the top four, in Hedman, McDonaugh, Chernak, Sergey, and you got a pair of young kids in Lilleberg and Crozier, and of course Perbix as well in the mix, that don't make a whole hell of a lot of money and have proven to be pretty damn good. Love Lilleberg. So I think this really, really slots everybody back into where they should be defensively. And I think it makes you a much better team. And and as JBB said yesterday, look, is this the missing piece in the word? Are we suddenly the Stanley Cup favorites? No. But I know this. It worked before. I know. I saw it with my own two eyes. When Ryan McDonaugh, and of course he's a little older player than he is then, but I don't think he's lost much. And I've seen it with my own eyes that this team is much better defensively with Ryan McDonaugh. And it's not just what he does on the ice, but it's off the ice as well. His leadership was instrumental. So I think it's an absolute brilliant stroke of genius. I think, for a second round pick, you get him back. I love the move, and I think it solidifies Steven Stamkos coming back, because I think Steven Stamkos is not about the money. He's clearly showed that in 2016. He's about winning. His quality of life, I think, means a hell of a lot more than another $6 to $8 million over the next 3 years, because he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. Was he pissed that he didn't get the extension because he had to, risk that extension? Yes, he was. Was Mike Evans? Yes, he was. But he resigned. Remember, we heard all that about Mike. Oh, he's pissed. He's not coming back. No way. You better trade him. He's not coming back. Now you did him wrong. You didn't extend him. Well, guess what? His wife told him to sign a contract.
That's it. Happy wife, happy life. Open phone lines today, by the way. 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Bolts fans, what do you think about that move? Tell you what, we can go out to the phone lines right now if you want to. You ready to go out to the phone lines? We got a call.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Right. Let's go out to Travis here. Travis, welcome to the JP Peterson Show.
Hey, guys. How you doing this morning?
Great.
Hey, Travis. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope to see you out and about one of these days. I got to tell you guys, I don't know how they're going to get this done. They have 18 guys under contract, and they're already it says $5 million that they have left. So they got 4 guys, and that's including if they can bring back Stamkos. I just can't see how Breezewell is going to get this done. I'm not sure how you guys see it, but I mean, there's other sites, including Sport Track, that are already saying that they're negative $8 million over the cap right now. So I just don't know how they're going to get the Stamkos deal done, or even get another 4 guys on the roster, because you have to have 22 guys on the roster. So I'm not exactly sure how you guys see it, and I definitely don't see it unless they decide to move somebody. And
there you go.
They're going to have to move somebody, guys.
They're going to have to move somebody. Yeah. They're going to have. Yeah, and this is a great question, Travis. Because that's the first thing I thought of as soon as they got McDonough back. I'm like, oh God, how the hell are they going to get Stamkos done then? And then I read what JBB said and what McDonough said, and talked to a few people, and they feel in the building that they can get it done. But I think your gut, they're going to have to move somebody. And I don't know if they already have a deal in mind, or they already have something prearranged, or they feel pretty good about being able to move somebody. But yeah, somebody with a bigger salary is getting moved, no question about it. But I don't know who that is, so it's hard to analyze the deal before you know who it is. But I just think if they say they can bring Stammer back, I believe them.
Well, guys, I mean, is it going to be Cernak? The guy hasn't been healthy, but yes, he's 27 years old. He makes $5.2 million, for his cap hit for next year. Is it going to be a guy like Eric Cernak? Or
I would think so. I would think he would be the leading candidate.
I think so too. And you got Nick Paul, who's making $3 million, leading up that third line. I mean, yes, they brought him in for consistency. They thought he'd probably score a little bit more, but if he was up on the 2 line, then maybe he would score a little bit more. I mean, I don't see them moving Cirelli because he is one of the key factors. Does he score enough to be that 2-line center? No, but he does other things.
He got to 20, right? That's not too bad, right?
No, it's not bad. And then, he's not bad in the face-off circle, and he's been pretty consistent, guys. So, They're not moving Hagel. Hagel's going to be the backbone of this team for a long time. They're going to have to pay Braden Point, in a couple of years because he was only on like a bridge deal, but he's making, 9.5, but he's not going anywhere. That guy's arguably the best, short range, top shelf goal scorer in the league. I mean, he's one of he plays that bumper position, so he's not going anywhere. So, what do you guys think? I mean, does it have to be Cernak or maybe even a combination of Cernak and Nick Paul? Because they have nobody to bring up in the minors. So there's some big questions that need to be in big moves that are going to need to be made if Stamkos is going to be, retained. But let me ask you this, JP. Is there any way, and I'm not a capologist in any capacity, is there any way that they can give him, stretch him out a deal for multiple years at a low number? Let's even say, let's say $3 million, but you give him $3 million for 8 years, even after he's, like they did maybe with Vinny or something like that, where they can stretch him out even after he's retired, a la, who's the guy in baseball that's been making millions from the Mets, even Bobby Bonilla.
Bobby Bonilla. I don't know if the Bonilla deferred contract is in line, but hey, Travis, thanks for the call. And all those are fantastic questions. And to be quite honest with you, we have a guy here on the line that's much more qualified and knowledgeable than I am to answer these particular questions as we bring in Eric Erlinson from lightninginsider.com. What's up, Eric? How are you, my friend?
Good morning. How's everybody?
We got lots of questions. Travis had lots of questions, and most of them are dealing with the finances of this move and what comes next. But let's start with impact. Ryan McDonaugh coming back. I certainly did not have this in my sheet of things to get done, my list of things to do this offseason, get Ryan McDonaugh back, but I sure like it. What are your thoughts about just the pure impact he makes on this team?
Well, I'll start by saying this. I was on a national show in Canada, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago, and it was a very interesting question they asked me towards the tail end of the conversation. They said, of all the players who the Lightning have lost through attrition and the salary cap and everything else since winning the Stanley Cup, which player would you most want back? And without hesitation, it's Ryan McDonaugh.
Yep.
As important as Andre Palat and Alex Killorn and Tyler Johnson and Blake Coleman and
Yanni
all
Gourde.
These players, Yanni Gourde, have been and were to the success of this team, McDonaugh was the guy. If you look at the way he plays the game, he is so, like, the definition of professional is what I think of when I see Ryan McDonaugh in the way he handles and carries himself on the ice. He's not a player who ever is going to wow you. Occasionally you get it. That spin move against the Islanders at the end of Game 4 in the Eastern Conference Finals was a wow moment had that goal gone in. But he's just so steady and professional in what he does. And in the 2021 run to the Cup, I actually gave him a Conn Smythe vote. He was that important to the team and what he does. And, we can talk about age of players, and what is he? McDonough's 34 years old now. He still plays at a high level. I watched him a few times with Nashville, certainly watched the playoffs against Vancouver in that first round for the Predators. And he still has it. He still plays the game the way Ryan McDonaugh does. And to bring him back on this blue line that's really badly been missing a top 4 caliber defenseman since he left, it's a big boost. And, I wrote about it today. It's not all attributed to him, but in the 4 full seasons that Ryan McDonaugh was here, the Lightning finished 6th or 8th in scoring in goals against.
Goals against, yep.
Without him, 16th and 23rd.
Yep.
There's more factors than just McDonaugh, but he is a big factor of it. So bringing him back, it means that you have either Victor Hedman or Ryan McDonaugh on the ice at any time during a game, which is what was so important since he was acquired in 2018 as a left-hand shot defenseman.
With this move here, does this basically signal that they're not going to make a big move? Because there was talk of some people saying maybe they should blow it up, trade a Braden Point, trade even a Nikita Kucherov. I've talked to somebody off air about this. Now with the McDonaugh move, does that basically mean now they're in to win right now this year?
Yeah, they're absolutely in it to win it. And I think that was the mentality before. Look, we should be sitting here marveling at what the Lightning have done in the past, even 5 or 6 years. I know they've lost in the first round 2 straight years. They were better than Toronto last year. They easily could have and should have won that series. They lost 3 games on home ice in overtime. If they win 2 of those games, we're having a much different conversation. And who knows, maybe they go back to the conference final again. This year, Florida was the better team. Yeah. They were going to have a hard time beating the Panthers, but they could have. I mean, if Matt Dumba scores that goal, if Sergei Bobrovsky does not pull off that miracle save in game 2, maybe we're having a different conversation. So the thought process of blowing things up, to me, in my opinion, is ludicrous.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Because you can talk about blowing it up all you want. They don't have the draft capital. And sure, could you get a return and a haul for a Nikita Kucherov or Braden Point? Of course you could. But this is
you don't know what you're getting back. And
well,
certainly don't know in the draft picks.
This is not Pittsburgh,
right?
This is not Letang, Malkin, and Crosby basically at the same points of their careers. Yes, Stamkos 08 draft, Hedman 09 draft, but Kucherov 2011 draft, Vasilevsky 2012 draft, Braden Point 2016 draft. You start going down the list. This is a nice mix of players at different points of their career who were the core of this team.
Agreed.
And if you want to talk about blowing it up, especially in the NHL, do you want to become the Buffalo Sabres?
No.
Who tried so hard to tank and get Connor McDavid. It didn't work out, and then they pissed off Jack Eichel to the point he wanted out. It's created a bad culture. This team is built to win. And bringing back McDonaugh, if you didn't know that already, what Julian Brisebois's mindset is, he showed it to you yesterday by bringing back McDonaugh, that this window is not closed. It's more difficult. The division is going to be tighter. Buffalo at some point is going to get their act together. Ottawa is an up-and-coming team, so it's going to be more difficult to get out of this division. But an interesting fact that's I found out during the series against the Panthers, or right before the end of the playoffs. Do you know that the Atlantic Division has had 6 representatives in the last 5 years in the Stanley Cup Final because of that awkward 2021 season?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So in the last 5 years, you've had 6 members of the Atlantic Division reach the Stanley Cup Final. It's a tough division to get out of. So, but this team, as long as 88 is healthy and the core remains intact, I think they have decent enough surrounding players to make this a good team.
Now, Travis just asked, how do they get this done from a salary cap standpoint? They got to get more players under contract. And we'll talk about Mitchell Chaffee here in a little bit, but that was another great value deal for 2 years at $800, right? So that helps you. But they still got some moves to make, and it just by doing my FSU math here, somebody's got to go. Who is that? Is it Chernak? Who is it?
Well, the good news here is you do have a little time to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't think Chernak's trade protection, it either kicks in July 1 or July 1 of next year. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but you have some time to work with that. Same thing with Anthony Cirelli if you want to go down that path as well. But yeah, it's tight. And you don't have to be cap compliant until you get to your regular season roster, which is towards the end of training camp. So you can be 10% over the cap until then. So you've got time to work this out and figure it out. And, when we talk about cap gymnastics, I think Julian Brisebois is a Simone Biles of cap gymnastics, right? Because what he's done the last number of years to be able to make this all work is very admirable to keep this team competitive. The math shows what I think right now they have a little over $5 million in available cap space. You can get another Brent Seabrook type contract if you're willing to do that. It's not the best solution to go into LTI the way that they have, but it's an option for them to
open up some space.
But yeah, it's the big one the big domino in all this is going to be Stamkos. What happens to Steven Stamkos? What does he sign for? Does he re-sign? All those questions will be answered here in the next little while. The good news is that Julian did address that yesterday and said that those discussions are ongoing right now. So at least they're working towards something.
Do you think, and this is just my thesis, I think Stamkos had a big hand in bringing Ryan McDonaugh back. And I think no, you don't think so? Or
he did not. No, Stamkos did not have a hand in this. Like if you listen to Barry Trotz yesterday, Ryan McDonaugh told him in exit interviews after the Predator season was done, hey, if there's ever a chance to explore sending me back to Tampa, I'd be willing to listen to it. So Barry Trotz is the one who said, hey, I'm going to reach out to the Lightning. We'll see if we can get a deal done. And that's what happened. So this took a lot of people, I think, by surprise, including a lot of the players. There was no whispers of this, no talk of this. It honestly just kind of came out of the blue.
But do you think Stamkos is obviously pleased with this?
Absolutely. For sure. Yeah. For sure. I mean, even talking to Ryan yesterday in the Zoom call that we had, he immediately reached out to Stammer and said, hey, I'm so excited to be back. And, Stamkos was just getting off the ice with Nikita Kucherov. So that kind of tells you the excitement level of McDonaugh, of Stamkos. And I think a lot of the players on the team. Now, if you're one of the ones in that ballpark that might have to be moved, maybe your excitement level is a little bit different. But I think as a whole, the players who understand what Ryan McDonaugh brings are ecstatic to bring him back.
Eric, what's your feeling on it? Do you think they get this Stamkos deal done eventually? I mean, much has been made about it. The contract negotiations broke down. I kind of feel like it's the same situation with Mike Evans. We heard about that last year. Contract negotiations break down. Supposedly he's not going to be with the Bucks. He comes back. Do you think the same thing could happen with Stamkos this year?
I get that sense, right? Obviously, Steven was not pleased when we got to training camp last September, and he made sure that he was publicly displeased with not having those negotiations or even a discussion all summer, let alone once training camp started. So, but Julian is a man of his word. He has said many times that they were going to do everything they can to re-sign Stamkos. But as we know in the business world, the business side of all sports is it has to be a number that fits the player and the team. We know the team's number because it's right there in black and white and in salary cap and everything else. We don't know what Stamkos' number is. A 40-goal scorer in the open market is not $3 million a year. So it's just, it's delicate in that aspect because if you're the team, you can't come in with a number that is insulting, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Right. But Stamkos also knows, as he said at his end of the year presser, when he was asked about Tom Brady and the deals that he took to take less money to kind of keep players together, he understands that that's probably something that has to be done as well. Even mentioning how Kucherov is vastly underpaid, I think is the term that he used, and all the other players. So he understands that aspect of it. It's just a question of, can you make it fit into this puzzle that only has a couple of pieces?
That's the big question. And as I look at Mitchell Chaffee's contract and his emergence, I think was a big deal. And having younger players who don't cost as much, that was a big deal. Your thoughts on that signing?
I thought it was a great signing to be able to bring in a player who you hope can find some of that scoring touch around the net. He's got a knack for getting to the net. He's got a knack for finding pucks around the net and knowing how to get there and when to get there.
Yep.
The big thing with Mitchell is his ability to win board battles. Like that's such an underrated thing that probably doesn't get talked about enough when we talk about hockey players is, do you come off the boards with the puck more often than not? And coaches love that stuff. They love your willingness to compete in those areas. And Mitchell Chaffee does that. So, he was scheduled to be a Group 6 unrestricted free agent, which just means based on when he signed his contract coming out of college, he hadn't played the required number of NHL games, so he could have went into free agency. But he understands the opportunity he has here, and you saw the role he earned down the stretch, including getting time in the playoffs against Florida. So at $800,000 a year on a one-way deal, that kind of tells you, what both sides were thinking in terms of how they view his role on this team. It's, he found himself a nice little third line role, can play a fourth line role, big body, knows how to compete, and you love those things. And you're right. When you're in a cap crunch, you need players who can contribute at a low number.
Yes. Yeah. So Eric Erlinson joining us here at lightninginsider.com. So I know this is hard to do because we're a long way out, but you can kind of see, where things are headed. What does this roster look like? I mean, we know what it looks like at the top. Do you expect a major deal? Obviously we talked about Chernak may have to go. Sorelli could be that guy. What does this roster look like come training camp time? Who gets added? What are they looking for? And if not a names, type of players you think they can add?
Well, I guess it depends on who has to be moved out, right?
Right.
Look, if you have to move a Chernak, and look, the reason that I think we target players like Chernak and Sorelli in this circumstance is they don't have any trade protection.
Right.
That's why we look at this.
We love them dearly.
It has nothing to do with the type of players that they are.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you move out a defenseman, if you move out Chernak, I don't know that you have to replace him in free agency, right? Because you still have Darren Radich, you still have Nick Perbix, you had Max Crozier come on at the end of the season, and I'm just thinking on the right side with those three guys. Obviously, I think Lilleberg right now is probably penciled in as the third pairing left defenseman. Mikhail Sergachev probably moves to the right side in this scenario, so we'll see where all of that kind of falls out. So if it's a defenseman, assuming you resign Stamkos, I think you have 11 forwards under contract right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the area you have to look. The fact that Anthony Duclair was acquired at the trade deadline kind of gives you an idea that they weren't comfortable with who their set top six were. So can Connor Sheary step up and take a top six role? I think he has to play a top six role. That's what he's been his entire career. I don't know. He's not suited for a third or a fourth line role. Agreed. As he kind of got, ended up doing most of the year, and he struggled, and we found out he had a finger issue, for the second half of the season. So if you think Sheary can fill the top six role and play with top six guys, which he can, he's done it his entire career, right, then you're looking at, filling out with, not necessarily Tyler Mott, but a Tyler Mott type player. Right. Like you need a guy who can kill some penalties and give you some energy and play that type of a game. That's the area. Again, with this team, you're not going big game hunting in free agency. I think if they go a trade route, it's probably for prospects picks, draft capital, especially with the number of picks they don't have right now over the next couple of drafts. I just traded another second round pick away in the McDonaugh deal in 2025. So to me, that's the area that they have to go. I caught the tail end of Travis's last question about spreading out a contract.
Yeah.
It can be done. And I believe if the reports were true, Alex Killorn, right? He get $24 million over 5 years, something like that, in Anaheim. The deal that the Lightning reportedly again offered him at the end was the same amount of money, just spread out over 8 years to bring the cap down. Now there are restrictions. You can't, this is the Ilya Kovalchuk deal where you can't front load a contract and the actual salary dives down at the end just to bring the cap number. I don't know the exact percentage, but there is a percentage that from year to year it can't drop from.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it can be done. So if you wanted to say, give an 8-year contract and spread that same amount of money out over that amount of time, look, it's just a question of whether the agent and the player are willing to accept a deal like that. Even though it's the same quote unquote total money, it would just drive down the cap number. And look, this team already catches flack for being cap circumventers anyway, right?
Whatever.
So, but there are creative ways to get it done, but there are a lot of restrictions. You can't restructure deals in the NHL. Every contract is guaranteed no matter what. And when you sign it, you can't bury salaries in the minor leagues. That's the Wade Redden situation. So you can't have a $5 million player playing.
It's a hard cap. It's a hard cap.
It's a hard cap. So it can be done. You have to be creative, but there are ways to potentially get it done if both sides are willing to do it.
All right, partner. Great stuff as always. How can everybody get the best coverage of the Lightning with lightninginsider.com?
Yeah, it's that's the website. There's two plans. There's a yearly plan at $40 a year. There's a monthly plan at $4.99. Obviously, I've been a little quiet over the last couple of weeks, but obviously yesterday was some noise. I'm going to sit down and kind of write out some of the scenarios we just talked about, going a little bit more detail. That'll be posted on the website, hopefully sometime today, depending on how I can get things done. And that's the best way to do it. It's going to be a busy off season, and of course,
it is
Stammergeddon 3.0.
All right. Thank you, partner. As always, really appreciate it. The great Eric Erlinson right there. Best in the business, lightninginsider.com. Get your subscription now. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, boys. Be well.
Yeah, that's it. This is when I saw this yesterday, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a stroke of genius. Again, it guarantees you nothing, but I'll tell you what, if it worked the first time, there ain't no reason it won't work again. And those numbers that Derek gave about the defense, those are incontrovertible. Those are incontrovertible. There's a lot of things that go into it, but that dude, if you watch the Lightning as he does every game as I do, you know where the difference lies. And it's fantastic. All right, we got to take a break. Got to hit a break. We gave you 50 minutes. We want to thank our great advertisers, Hydrate Heroes. We are presented by Hydrate Heroes. Go to tryhydrateheroes.com. Get your free sample pack, 3-pack. And then go ahead and order a 30-pack, $29.99, less than $1 a serving, 5 calories, great taste, all the good stuff in there, none of the bad stuff. It is fantastic. Tryhydrateheroes.com and the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Go to the website, contact them from there, and get a free case evaluation. Free case evaluation. If you got a case, they'll tell you or not. JeevesLawGroup.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. All right, guys, the Golden Diamond Source Memorial Day sale is here. Now, I know you guys are saying I don't have the money to buy a ring right now. Times are tough. What about this? 5-year interest-free financing, so you can buy a $5,000 ring and only pay $83 a month. You got $83 a month to put the ring on the finger of that special person. That's right, $5,000 ring, only $83 a month. So that's 5 years interest-free financing. And of course, the Golden Diamond Source has the best selection. They have the best customer service. And when you shop at the Golden Diamond Source, you can proudly say our jewelry changes lives. We tell you this all the time, folks. The philanthropy of Julie and Steve Weintraub is incredible. Their entire staff very much involved in their philanthropy. The Hands Across the Bay charity helps so many abused women throughout the years. So this Memorial Day, pick a jewelry store that makes an impact. And don't miss their 5-year interest-free sale. It's the Golden Diamond Source, centrally located right there, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA 2-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, You want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808. Are you looking to be more productive and healthier? Do you know chronic dehydration affects your overall health and well-being? 75% of the U.S. population suffers from dehydration, and many of us don't even know it. That was me before I was introduced to Hydrate Heroes. 8 times the benefits with hydration. A beverage with benefits more than just hydration. That's right, 8 times the benefits with hydration. Hydrate Heroes provides a refreshing, great-tasting beverage powder to mix with water, providing elderberry, zinc, vitamin D, electrolytes, amla fruit, which provides a great source of vitamin C, along with a proprietary mushroom blend that has shown to help increase endurance and energy at the cellular level. Hydrate Heroes is so confident you're going to love the taste and the results. They are offering our listeners a special offer, a free 3-pack sample, no credit card needed. Just go to the jppetersonshow.com, the jppetersonshow.com, and click on Hydrate Heroes logo. Hydrate for health today with Hydrate Heroes.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We went really long in our first segment, so this will be a quick segment. And then Titus O'Neill's going to join us as he gets ready to go into the Tampa Sports Club Hall of Fame on June 5th. Get your tickets. Going to be a magical evening at Higgins Hall. I'm so honored to be able to MC that event, as I've done in the past. Looking very much forward to that and to this interview as well.
Congratulations. You deserve it. Well done, my friend. You're all over the place. You're all over the town. You're doing stuff for More 32. You're out at Gasparilla. You're everywhere.
We got speaking of more TV, we're going to do 2 pregame shows this year. The 2 Monday night games, the Ravens and the Chiefs, one home, one on the road. We'll be giving you an hour-long local pregame show, so you don't have to watch the national stuff. We'll give you all 100% Bucks coverage on that. So we're looking forward to those. They've got some other exciting things coming for football season that will be national and local as well. We can't divulge that just yet, but more TV getting in the sports business. And that's great for you guys because we're going to give you more sports coverage. We hope to expand that too. We're looking at doing a sports weekly show on a Sundays, kind of like the old sports reporters. Remember with Dick Schaap?
Mm-hmm.
But we have a bunch of knuckleheads from Tampa Bay sports to do it. Yeah, see?
Yeah. Alexander loves it in the back.
Loves it. Yes. Absolutely. So we're looking, and we're going to expand. We're looking to expand this network as well, folks. We just got a couple folks that are talking about Eric Erlinson and how great content he is. Travis says Eric is the best. He is absolutely the best. He has great content on the JP Peterson Show. Absolutely. And, he obviously has his website and does a lot for the Lightning as well. But he needs more, how do I say this in a polite way? He needs to be paid more. That's what he needs to be to cover the Lightning. And we want to get that done for him. And your support of this network and FanStream Sports as we move forward with some expansion plans is going to be key. So what we want to do, our vision here is to give you guys more Tampa Bay sports coverage that's, for one thing, not behind a paywall. And I understand the Times has to do that. They've got a lot of people to pay. But we want to give you an alternative to covering all sports at an extensive level. And we'd very much like to hire Eric Erlinson to do so and pay him a full-time wage. And there's some other people in this market that we would like to hire and pay them a full-time wage, including you, Peter Blake. So we want to give everybody who have covered these teams for a long, long time an opportunity to make money in this market where they should be able to make money in this market. It's underserved, in my opinion, in a lot of different ways. I think a lot of you fans would agree with that. and we're going to try to make that happen. But we'll need your support, and we thank you for all your support. And I want to get to those supporters here real quick. Zach Mitchell, as we good to see you in here. So this makes Stamkos even more willing to resign. I absolutely 100% believe that. Joe D'Angelo, welcome back, Ryan McDonaugh. Ryan hasn't lost much age, won't matter. JBB, great job. Totally agree with that. It's fantastic.
74 games last year on the blue line. So people think he's, washed up, or he's a guy that's just off, is not seen the best of himself. That's just not true. He's played in a lot of games last year. I think it's an extraordinary move, and it's a move that this Lightning organization, this is the reason why they're the number one team, not only in the Tampa Bay area besides the Bucks, but also in all professional sports, because they get it, JP. They're going for it. They're winning now. They're not trying to rebuild. They're not trying to get prospects. They're not trying to cut pay. They are trying to win now and be competitive, and that's exactly why they are one of the top organizations in all of professional sports, period.
Well said, my friend.
Thank you.
Well said, my friend. And this from Yeezy is well said. Poor Graham Barton throwing out the first pitch today in front of 43 people. But let's build another stadium right there. All right, we got to take another quick break. On the other side, Titus O'Neil will join us. Thaddeus Bullard. What a great inspirational story he is. And he will be going into the Florida Sports Club Hall of Fame, or Tampa Sports Club Hall of Fame, sorry. We're brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. The Memorial Day sale is on. That means no interest financing for 5 years. You can get a $5,000 ring for $83 a month. How about that? So if you've been thinking about popping the question, don't think you have the money. You got the money. If she ain't worth $83 a month, then she ain't the one. So go to the Gold and Diamond Source and get that ring right now. The Memorial Day sale is going on. And thanks to all our veterans as well. Back at 3 with the great Titus O'Neil. Stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state, or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here for Extravaganza Productions. You know, I've worked with these pros on so many big and small events. They recently did the Kappa Alpha Psi Grand Reunion, the Tampa RV Show Exhibit. They did the Skills Center opening of Tampa Bay. They can do those small events. They do the biggest of events. So if you were thinking about planning a meeting or special event, call the talented staff at Team EPI. They will give you a free creative meeting if you mention the JP Peterson Show. They will provide you with an exceptional experience. Heck, they'll even show you their huge warehouse with great props. Anything you want. They'll do it on time and on budget. You can reach them at their Tampa headquarters at 813-621-4700 or go to extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
This is The Strike. 102.5 WHPT, HD2 Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete.
All All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Hydrate Heroes. Go to tryhydrateheroes.com. Get your free 3-sample pack. Get all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. 5 calories per serving, all the electrolytes, great stuff like amla fruit and other things in there that will help out your body get hydrated and feel great. It's tryhydrateheroes.com. Get your free 3-pack. All right, without further ado, let's bring in the man of the hour. He is, he is absolutely one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of the game. And as far as I'm concerned, in 2020, he was given the WWE Hall of Fame Warrior Award for his philanthropic duties here in Tampa, Florida. He was also given the incredible honor of having a school named after him. He is a wrestling champion. He is a tag team champion and one of the greatest dudes and most inspirational stories you will ever meet. He is the great Titus O'Neil. Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Congratulations on so many awards, but now I think a very, very special one as the Sports Club of Tampa Bay welcomes you into their Hall of Fame, and a guy that has done so much good for so many in Tampa, Florida, and Tampa Bay. This is your home. This is your Hall of Fame, and damn it, you deserve to be in it. And now you are. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm extremely honored and excited actually about the evening that's ahead of us in 2 weeks. It's being able to go in with a man who I have a tremendous amount of respect for, coached me at the University of Florida, Steve Spurrier.
Yep.
Unretired his number so I can wear his number 11. He is the epitome of what I feel like college football is really all about. He believed in doing things the right way, but he also believed in winning. And that was my number one reason for choosing the University of Florida, on top of the fact that I leave there with a high-quality education. And it was great. It is great to be a Florida Gator, and it's great to be going into the Hall of Fame with Coach Spurrier, as well as Bruce Arians as well.
Yeah.
Man that came here to Tampa with a mission to help bring us a Super Bowl. And was one of the first, I guess, notches in the belt for us to be able to proclaim ourselves as Tampa Bay. Obviously, with the Lightning following up with back-to-back championships, that also, propelled us into sports dynasty land, if we must say.
Yeah,
and,
never been done before.
Yeah, and so definitely a very special class to be a part of, and looking forward to the event and being there amongst great people from the Tampa Bay area that I get a chance to call friends, partners, and in some cases family.
Yeah. Should we call you Thaddeus or Titus for this interview? I don't know where to go with that.
You gotta call him Titus.
Yeah, you can call me whatever you want to call me. I'll answer them both.
Superstar. We'll call you Superstar.
Yeah.
I talked about this in the open because I've heard you speak so many times, and you've been very candid about what was a very, very difficult upbringing. And I just think in these days of where everybody's crying victim this and victim that, you are such a shining example of being able to overcome the biggest of odds and become the biggest of superstars in wrestling and in life as a human being and a philanthropist. That story is so inspirational. How much of that do you want to share for this evening that we're going to in a couple of weeks? And how important is that to get that message out to so many, especially kids these days?
Well, I'll never negate the importance of someone's trauma and being addressed.
Yes.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are victims of a lot of things. Some of those things I experienced as a kid, and some of them I did not. Obviously being a product of a sexual assault and my mother having me at a very young age of 12 years old, my life started off behind the 8 ball, just like a lot of other people have. But to say that, I truly believe in it takes a village to raise a child, and I had one hell of a village, man. Whether it's at the Boys and Girls Club, the Florida Sheriff's Boys Ranch, people pouring into me from multiple facets and backgrounds of life. and they were all great people. Some of those were Republicans, some of those were Democrats, some of those were Christians, some of those were Muslims, some of those believe in they were atheists, and it never, it never shaped the way I think about people and about life in general. I think people are people, and you're not going to agree on any and everything, but one thing I think we all can agree on is that you should be a great human being. And my whole life, I've been surrounded by some really horrible human beings at some points, and then some really good ones at some points. And still to this day, you talk about, folks and how they utilize social media to kind of be divisive. And, they some people do have have a victim mentality. And some people are in situations where they don't have good people around them or good situations around them, and they truly are victims. And
they need to be helped. And that's why your message of unity is so important. I can't stress that. I don't mean to interrupt you, but your message of unity has been one that just really resonates with me. And I hear you can continue on that theme and why it's so important to you.
Yeah,
Oh, there we go.
Well, it's live television, so that's what you get here.
So. We can't. You think you're muted?
Yeah,
we can't hear you. We can't hear you, partner.
Yeah, let's see. Maybe just come back in, go out, and then come back in again, and we'll restart.
Yeah, we can see you. I'll text them. We can see you, but we can't hear you.
Yeah. Let me try this and then try this. No, it's not working. So that's on his end. It's not on ours. So
all right.
All right. Just tell him to come back in, and we'll go ahead and we guess the sound. I don't know what it is. So
all right. Let's we'll do that.
We'll do that. We'll come back here. Great stuff there by Titus. Looking forward to asking more questions because I got a chance to talk to him at the Jake Paul press conference. And let's see if we can get him in here. Stand by. Again, let's see if he's on.
Are you back? Can we hear you? Can you hear us? Nope, I don't think so. Can't hear us?
No. I can hear you. I can hear, just fine. I just can't hear him. Okay.
Let me see you. Let's take a quick break. Let's take him out, and we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back. I'll give him a call and see if we can't get him back in. Quick break. We'll return with Thaddeus Bullard, Titus O'Neil right after this. Stay with us. Are you looking to be more productive and healthier? Do you know chronic dehydration affects your overall health and well-being? 75% of the U.S. population suffers from dehydration, and many of us don't even know it. That was me before I was introduced to Hydrate Heroes. 8 times the benefits with hydration. A beverage with benefits more than just hydration. That's right, 8 times the benefits with hydration. Hydrate Heroes provides a refreshing, great-tasting beverage powder to mix with water, providing elderberry, zinc, vitamin D, electrolytes, amla fruit, which provides a great source of vitamin C, along with a proprietary mushroom blend that has shown to help increase endurance and energy at the cellular level. Hydrate Heroes is so confident you're going to love the taste and the results. They are offering our listeners a special offer, a free 3-pack sample, no credit card needed. Just go to the jppetersonshow.com, the jppetersonshow.com, and click on Hydrate Heroes logo. Hydrate for health today with Hydrate Heroes. JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA 2-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips.
Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808. We are back. Let's see if we can get Titus. Are you back, my friend?
I believe so.
Yes. Good.
Good. There you go. We got you. All right. Yep. I want to start out here because we talked at the Jake Paul press conference about your Florida Gators. Where do you see this team going this year? Are you all on board with the coach there, with Billy Napier? Is it do or die for him this year, in your opinion? I mean, where do you see your program going at this point?
Well, I do think our program is going in the right direction. I don't know if it's going in the direction that everybody will want it to go as quick as everyone will want it to go. But I need people to understand also, too, Florida State just had probably the best season that they've had in several years. And, you know, they were calling for Mike Norvell's head, too, at Florida State.
Exactly.
And so, you know, those guys have been working extremely hard, bringing in very good recruiting classes, working really hard in the transfer portal. But at the end of the day, it's really going to come down to metrics and wins and losses. I'm not one to determine anybody's fate as to whether or not they will retain their job or not retain their job, but winning always heals a lot of wounds. And I believe that people may be pleasantly surprised with how the Gators do this year. I'm not even going to act as if I didn't look at that schedule and say, holy crap, you know.
Brutal.
We're in for a wild ride. But I do think that they have some great pieces there, and my prayer is that they do get it together, because I do think Billy Napier is probably one of the best human beings I've ever met. I do love the way that his philosophy. He's a very consistent coach in regards to how he is as a person. What you see is what you get. And I've seen him manage people, you know, and that's one of the great skills of any head coach, is being able to manage people. And you don't see a lot of off the field issues going on up there at the University of Florida right now. So when you look at all the positives as opposed to the negatives, I think that the positives outweigh the negatives in a great deal. But at the end of the day, it is about winning football games. That's what he's hired to do. Put us in position to not only go to bowl games, but win bowl games, as well as continue to reach this Gator standard that was reached years ago, starting with Coach Spurrier and then continued with Urban Meyer. And, you know, as we all feel at the University of Florida, you should be able to win here. If you can win at Georgia and you can win at Florida State, you can win at Alabama, you should be able to win at the University of Florida too. And so that is something that should be expected, and I think is expected by a majority of the Gator Nation. And I know that it's expected of the coaches as well. They wouldn't put in the hours that they put in. And do. I've seen when people have kind of thrown in the towel and given up, and I have not in one way, shape, or form seen that with Coach Napier and his staff.
Well, that's one hell of an endorsement for Coach Napier, and I agree with you. I've said this on my show many times. You guys, the Gators would be nuts to get rid of him, and this year, it may be a 4 or 5 win season. If they make that mistake, they will regret it. I'm telling you, he is recruiting his ass off. This portal class that he just brought in, outstanding. And he's got a young player there that you might know pretty well too, right? Your son is now a Florida Gator, right? How cool is that?
Yeah, my son and my nephew, Miles Graham, who started in January.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Ernest's son. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm moving my son actually into his dorm next Monday.
How cool is that? So, how cool is that as a dad? Come on.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, I got one at UCF, and then my other one will be at Florida, and they both will be playing against each other. So that's I wouldn't say it's a house divided. It's you know, my degree is from the University of Florida, but I do have lots of love for UCF. I think Terry Maher, I have so much respect for him as an athletic director, and Gus Malzahn. as a head coach, and my son is happy there, and they're doing things the right way as well. So you can't, as a parent, I can't be more prouder of either one of my sons. And then my daughter is going to college this summer to play at Oakland University. So I'll be an empty nester. Empty nester. All my kids are Division I athletes.
How about that?
And so I'm definitely a proud father.
Titus, talk about WrestleMania 40. A lot of great success there. Social media records broken, and I also want to know, can you put in to get WrestleMania here in Tampa? And because it should be a permanent spot. And then on top of that,
you need a roof.
Yeah. How exciting is it to work with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson there, the final boss?
I mean, obviously, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the final boss, brings a lot of excitement in any project that he ever is a part of.
Yeah.
Wrestling is in his veins, it's in his blood. It's what got him, the opportunity to do all the amazing things that he's doing, and to see him back not only as an on-screen talent, but also as one of a member of the board of directors, and helping Nick Khan and Paul Levesque, Triple H, in making this transition from one stage of an era of wrestling into the true Paul Levesque area, where you could definitely see his fingerprints kind of all over everything. You see the NXT talent that have been brought up over the last couple of years, some that were released that brought back, and it's just this. It's this kind of resurgence of energy, not just because Dwayne is present, but just because the locker room is different. The business is different. And a lot of that has to do with the leadership of Nick Khan and Paul Levesque, but there's definitely no question that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who now owns his name, The Rock, is probably the biggest, succession move ever. But it's, in regards to getting WrestleMania back here in Tampa, Rob Higgins and Claire Lessinger and that team,
great job.
with Team Tampa Bay, they worked hard to bring events here. They worked hard to get Royal Rumble here, which was a huge success for the company as well, huge success for the Tampa Bay area. And I would not doubt that Tampa would be in the running for another Big Four. Whether it's the SummerSlam or other, but now we got some stiff competition, because the foreign crowds have clearly cemented their space and place in opportunity to receive one of the Big Four pay-per-views.
Ooh, they're going overseas?
Yeah. I mean, we went. We had WWE Backlash over in France, and it was truly one of the most electric crowds. And then you think back to in the fall of last year, we had a pay-per-view in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and that place was amazing. Two just passionate crowds that don't get WWE in their regions all the time like we do in the States. And so while I love the fact that we can sell out stadiums in the U.S., I definitely am interested to see how we do. I know how we will do. We will do excellent overseas, and I know that London has made their play for WrestleMania. Saudi Arabia has made their play for.
They got a little bit of money.
Yeah, so and we'll be in Saudi Arabia in a week now from now. With King of the Ring, and so there's no question that this is, especially with the merger of TKO and UFC now with Endeavor, we just have a bigger global platform and presence. So we have to abide by that, in regards to doing that. But there's no question that Tampa is a special place for our company. It's a special place for the history of wrestling in general. And I could foresee us having something brought back here, whether it be Survivor Series, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, or any other pay-per-view that we may have, because it's a special place for wrestling and for our talent.
You talk about the history of wrestling, of course. You have Dusty Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is able to finish the story. First, what did you think of that whole storyline versus the Bloodline? And then talk about Cody Rhodes and, his ascension to the top of the wrestling world.
Yeah, I mean, Cody, not only a good friend, I learned a lot when I was wrestling with him prior to him leaving and going to another promotion. Did some really fun backstage segments when he was Stardust, and had the opportunity. And I know for him at that time, he had the same mentality that his dad had when they put his dad in polka dots, which was, I'm gonna make this as amazing as I possibly can. And he wasn't happy with a lot of stuff going on at that time, and he gambled on himself. And when you fast forward it now to him being our champion, our top champion, and seeing the route that he had to take to get there, and who he had to go through to get there to where he is right now.
Cool.
It's amazing. And so the tears that not only myself and other people probably shared that night were definitely tears of joy. When you look at the entire makeup of how the buildup happened, and kind of the pivot in regards to now we got, instead of having Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Roman Reigns headlining WrestleMania, it's Cody Rhodes fighting for his life to finish the story and taking an ass whooping all the way up until it was time for him to be crowned champion. And that night in Chicago, where Rock, beat him up all the way backstage in the cold rain.
Amazing.
Just cinema at its finest.
Yeah.
And to see it all wrap around, and having his mother there and his family there and his wife there, and seeing that moment where everybody that had something to do with his past and his present be in the ring and celebrate with him, was definitely a beautiful moment for wrestling in general. And I feel like it'll go down as one of the greatest stories to ever be finished at one of our WrestleManias. And WrestleMania 40 was special because of that story, amongst other things. But that story definitely was the great capper of the event.
Boy, you just encapsulated that pretty damn well yourself right there. That was pure poetry right there, my friend. Thaddeus Bullard, the global ambassador of WWE, joining us here. And you just described your kids and what they have accomplished, and what you have accomplished as a family in a tremendous way. And you've got a Father's Day event coming up that we need to talk about and promote. Tell us a little bit about that and how all the dads could get involved. Because once again, this is an area where we all can be a lot better. And I love your leadership in this area. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Mother's Day has been kicking our ass for years, And
let's go. Let's go, guys.
It's time for a celebration like none other. And, we're going to take this moment on Father's Day this year. It's going to be at the amphitheater, go from 9:01 to 2:01. We'll have like a pregame celebration where it's going to be like a tailgate type situation with food and fun and bounce houses and interactive games for dads to participate. All the families, I would love for them to join and come out. It's not just for dads and their kids, it's for the entire family. We'll kick off the event with a parade of dads. So basically all the families will be ushered into their seats in the amphitheater. And then I have like 5 high school bands that will play in all the dads to a rounding rouse of applause.
Love this.
to all their families. I want them to have bullhorns and cowbells and all kinds of stuff. And then we'll kick it off, obviously, with Sonia Bryson singing the national anthem.
Nice.
Then also opening prayer, and then we'll release the dads to go sit with their families, and then we'll have a hell of a program that's with entertainment. We'll highlight 3 fatherhood stories in the Tampa Bay area. One being a military veteran that lost the ability to have kids, so he adopted.
Nice.
And so we'll tell that story. We'll tell a story about a young couple that have 2 kids. One has Down syndrome, so they'll talk about the challenges and having a kid with special needs, etc. And then I have a family that I'm going to highlight, a father that I'm going to highlight that has 3 kids, 2 daughters and a son that were homeless at one point and sleeping in the car with his kids. And so he talks about that journey, etc., and how he got help through an organization called Echo, and then obviously our great partners at Metropolitan Ministries.
Yes.
But we got some crazy surprises for some dads also too. We're gonna do some home makeovers while some dads are like gone away for a couple of days. City Furniture has partnered with me on this venture, and we'll provide them new furniture and like redo their. We got with the designers and stuff like that. And then there's a kid that has a very special place in my heart here that lost his dad recently, and we're gonna surprise him with the ability to go to college for free. So it'll
What a
be
day!
yeah,
What a day!
it's gonna be a day full of tears and surprises and love and laughter. But at the end of the day, it's gonna not just celebrate the importance of fathers and male mentors, but also family.
Yes.
And I never grew up with my biological father, but I had male mentors that served as father figures to me. And
Me too. Me too.
And so just really driving home that like dads are important. We may not always get the restaurant reservations and flowers and all that stuff.
But we're important.
But we are important. Men are important. And family is important. And sometimes that family looks a lot different than what it should or what it's supposed to. Sometimes that family is through adoption. Sometimes that family is through adoption and relationships. But the importance of it is what I think is one of the reasons why our country is in the position that it's in.
I agree.
Is because we don't have a strong family unit or a family
Totally
mindset.
agree.
And so when we talk about unity, Tampa Bay to me is family. The whole area of Tampa Bay is family, and we do come together in times of need. But we also we don't allow a lot of BS to come into our infrastructure of what we got going on here. Of course, traffic has gotten a lot worse because we got a lot of people from California and New York.
They all want to come here now. Yeah.
Yeah. But even they adapt
blame 'em.
and the businesses that come, they adapt to the way of life here in Tampa. They give back. They understand that you can't just come here and just take. You do need to give back.
Absolutely.
And make this community continue to be the great community it is to live in, to grow in, and to raise a family in. And my family has been very fortunate enough to reap the rewards of living in an area like Tampa Bay. Your family has as well.
Yeah.
And so we need to continue to do things that bring people together in a way in which politics doesn't matter. Like you can't politicize fatherhood, the importance of it. You can't politicize the importance of family.
Agreed.
And it doesn't matter what religious beliefs you have or whether you're lesbian or gay or straight.
Damn right.
Family is family. And we just need to, on this day, on June 16th of this year, it's the first time it's ever been done. It won't be the last time, but I want to come out with a bang. That place can hold 20,000. If I can get 15, I'm happy.
We're gonna fill it. We're gonna fill it. At least we're gonna do everything we can. How can people get involved, and how can we vote for you for president? Will you run, please? Can you please run for president?
Well, president and any political office, whether it's mayor,
you'd win 90%.
And I would not run. I can assure you, I will not run. I have zero desire to be a political figure in any sense, way, shape, or form. But people can go to bullardfamilyfoundation.org to register. It's a free event, but you must be registered. bullardfamilyfoundation.org. And anyone that wants to support it in any way can also reach out through the foundation website as well. You can always make a donation. Again, I try to make all of my events free because I don't want to prevent anyone that probably should be at the event from coming to the event because they don't have the money to bring their entire family. And this is a family event. It's the same way with the Back to School Bash that I do the following month. I don't charge anything for people to come to that. I just want people to have the opportunity to come together and be joined together without the pressures of worrying about whether or not they can afford to be there. And also too, I'm doing it as a ticketed event, so you don't have to just show up with your family then wonder where you're going to sit. That's why it's very important for them to go on the website. I'm working through Ticketmaster to make sure that people have actual seats, so you don't have to be like, hey, you mind if I sit over by my grandkid, or
Get them
things
now.
like that. Yeah. So get online and go to bulletfamilyfoundation.org, click on the link. And the last part of the registration is to get your tickets. And like I said, I want to fill this place up with a ton of people. And this drum line, all the drum lines are going to make a financial contribution to the band programs, because band programs are always looking to raise money and funds.
Love it. Yes.
But this will also hopefully help bring their families out, to the event as well. So,
let's fill it up, and I'm going to encourage people. I know you won't, but I'm going to encourage people to make that donation. You're getting free tickets. It's going to be well worth it. So act like you're paying for something that's going to be the best day of your life, dads. And if you don't have something to do on Father's Day, even if you do, make this a priority. Make this. I mean, what better way to do it, man? This is awesome. I really appreciate you doing it. When you first told me about it, I was like, you're damn right. We need a Father's Day thing. You're so right. Mother's Day's been kicking our ass forever. So listen, Titus, Thaddeus, I love you, man. And you and Ernest Grant are some of my favorite people on this planet. I mean, you guys might make me a Gator fan.
All right. It's never too late. I always tell people it's never too late, bro. You might have made the wrong decision years ago, but it's never too late. It's like coming to Christ, brother. It's like giving your life to Christ.
There you go. Go Gators.
There you go. Right over there. There you go. You already got the right pattern and everything.
Oh, man. I love you, Titus. Titus Worldwide. Worldwide.
You're the best, man. You're the best.
Thanks,
and we're going to get, I need to get, we're going to put a promo spot on this show every day leading up to the event. So we're going to try to promote it as much as we can. And again, congratulations on your induction into the the Tampa Sports Club Hall of Fame. I can't wait for that night. That's coming up June 5th. Get your tickets for that as well. That's going to be a great night. You and Coach Spurrier together again.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you also, I'm releasing my book Father's Day weekend, Wrestling with Fatherhood, my championship journey to my greatest title ever, Dad. So it actually is available now for pre-order on Amazon. But Wrestling with Fatherhood is the title. And
can't wait to read that.
Yeah, so it'll be awesome too.
No, well, you're the best, man. You're the best,
man.
And we need leaders like you. Whether you run for political office or not, you can probably get a lot more done doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
But we need leaders like you, man, in this country in the worst way. And I appreciate you stepping up in every way that you do it. You are the absolute best, man, and I love you. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you for all these events. It's going to be great.
Yes,
thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it.
Have an awesome week.
All right. You too. You're the best.
Yes,
Go
sir.
Gators.
Go Gators. There you go. You're learning. You're a quick learner.
I got you. I got you.
Yes,
thanks,
sir.
man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Titus O'Neil, Thaddeus Buller right there. Wow, what a dude, man.
Yes.
What a dude. Peter, I know you're not a dad, but show up anyway. Get your tickets. Come on out. It's going to be fun.
Well,
you can honor your dad,
Absolutely. Well, why not do a live show there? Could we do a live show there? Would you be willing to do a live show there? I mean, throw the camera in there, throw the lights
Let's
in
go.
there. Do it.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. If they're not simulcasting it, we'll do it anyway.
Yeah,
I think it's a fantastic idea, and I definitely want to promote it as much as we can. Go get your tickets now, because he's going to be promoting this heavy and has been, and I think it's going to sell out. It should sell out. We need to support him in every way we possibly can.
Sure.
He's such a important figure. All right.
He's awesome. He's absolutely awesome. And I told you, that's the reason why you got to start watching wrestling. All the history of it. It's coming back around. It's getting better. We got to go out to an event or something. We got to go out to a Royal Rumble.
I'm down. I'm down.
All right.
I'm down. Let's do it. What we got to do is hit a break, because our advertisers are so important to us, and we appreciate all of them. The Jeeves Law Group, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Taliano Insurance, the Golden Diamond Source. Their memorial sale is on. You can get a $5,000 ring for $83 a month. 5 years, no interest financing there. So go see the great folks at the Golden Diamond Source. Extravaganza Productions. You got a big event coming up. They're probably doing this event for Titus. I'm not sure, but they should be. Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. Just go to extravaganzaproductions.com, reach them through the website, get a free creative meeting. Love the folks over there. Back in 3, Chris Lugo is going to join us. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff for your health. We got some more Buck stuff to get to, all kinds of stories. So stay with us. Are you looking to be more productive and healthier? Do you know chronic dehydration affects your overall health and well-being? JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
With over 34 years of producing small and large events, Extravaganza Productions is truly a Tampa treasure when it comes to creating some of the very best events in Tampa and all across the United States. I've worked with them at the Florida Sports Hall of Fame inductions, the Warrior Games, which was an Olympic-sized event spread across all of Tampa Bay. They are the very best, from small meetings to exceptionally large corporate conferences to galas, fundraisers, sporting events, grand openings, whatever you want. Team EPI has an extremely talented staff of designers and show producers that develop extraordinary events fueled by the visions of their clients. You can reach them at their Tampa headquarters at 813-621-4700 or go to extravaganzaproductions.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this hump day with Peter Blake.
Yes.
Boy, that was one hell of an interview, huh?
It was. Absolutely.
One hell of an interview.
Yeah. I always like talking wrestling, too, with somebody who's basically in the business at that point.
Well, and thank you for doing that because, I know next to nothing. I enjoyed that talk.
I got you, buddy. I got you. I'm gonna make you a wrestling fan before the year is out, and you're gonna be watching Netflix in 2025 when Monday Night Raw comes on there. I'm telling you. Yeah.
All right. I'm in.
All right. All right.
Titus has got me in. You too.
All right.
All right. Wanted to get to a couple Buck stories. Yesterday, Tristan Wirfs did not show for OTAs. Obviously, he's working on a new contract. No reason for any type of nervousness in this deal, folks. Tristan Wirfs is not going anywhere. This is simply, OTAs can get a little bit, basically it's the same thing that Ryan Jensen had happened to him. Those were kind of underwear Olympics and somebody fell on his knee and his career was over. Mm-hmm. So, and in fact, I'm glad Tristan Wirfs is not doing the on-field activities. He'll be doing the workouts and all those things and doing the mental reps, to get down the new offense. He'll be around the team. He's just not going to participate in those team activities. And I'm fine with that. I'd rather him not, to be quite honest. He doesn't need to.
Right.
Get off your feet. Let the other guys get some reps.
It's voluntary, by the way.
Right.
You don't have to do it. It's not mandatory. And I know a lot of Bucs fans read the story yesterday from Jeremy Fowler that they're nowhere close in negotiations. But we heard the same thing with Mike Evans.
That's right.
So Jason Licht, just have to have faith. I know I continue to say this, and people will say, "Do you work for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and towing the company line?" But this has been what they've done over the last 5 years. When people say, well, they can't re-sign their own, this is what a great organization is all about. Re-signing your own, taking care of your own players. They did it with Antoine Winfield Jr. They did it with Mike Evans. They did it with Baker Mayfield. And they're going to get it done with Tristan Wirfs. I'll throw the question out there to Bucs fans. Are you concerned with him not showing up to OTAs? Again, open phone line, 727-255.
Better not be.
0391 again 727-255.
He's not going in. And here's the thing, it's a salary cap league. I get it. Oh, we can't pay Antoine Winfield that much. Yes, you can. He's your best defensive player. It doesn't matter what position he plays. That is irrelevant these days. It's positionless football in terms of defense these days. Anyway, he's your best playmaker. Don't worry about it. And the cap is going up exponentially. All these TV deals that keep being made, Netflix, Amazon, all this money goes into the revenue. Okay. The CBA states that the players make 53% of the revenue. That goes to the salary cap. So every time they do a new deal with Amazon, we bitch about this, that, and the other. If you're a Bucs fan, don't bitch about it. Okay. Because that money, the more the salary cap goes up and you have good players like Tristan Wirfs, he's going to reset the tackle market. And the sooner you sign him, the better, because these caps going to continue to go up. It'll probably, it was, I think, at 205 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. It will probably be close to $400 million in the next 5 to 6 years. So even though this looks like an inflated deal for Antoine Winfield, it's not, because the cap's going up. Same thing with Tristan Wirfs. And the reason these deals are harder to get done, and it took a while for Antoine to get his done, is because they're trying to predict where these revenues are going. What looks like a great contract right now may not be a great contract in 3 years. So the numbers that these guys are asking for look astronomical, but they're just following where the market's going. So they're going to be a little bit more difficult to get done. Don't worry about it. There's nothing to worry about here whatsoever. Chris Godwin. He said yesterday that I think this may come as a surprise to some, that his knee has still been affecting him. His knee got blown up, folks.
Correct.
With that ridiculously dirty tackle from the New Orleans Saints, because that's what they do.
Yep.
And he just has not been the same since. He hasn't had the same burst. He hasn't had the same strength. But he said he feels much better now. And this is the time when, after an ACL injury, these are elite athletes, folks. And even for them to get back to that level where he was takes some time. And I think you're going to see a much different Chris Godwin this year in terms of getting back to his explosion, which made him the player that he is, and the strength, explosion, change of direction. And he's going to be in a contract year. So I expect Chris Godwin to have a humongous freaking season. I will be jumping on every one of his player props, season props, like I did last year.
Right.
Over 850 yards, I think it was. That popped easy. So anything you can get on Chris Godwin on the market, over. You will make.
Well, yeah, JP, we asked for phone calls. We got it. Phone call. You're on the JP Peterson Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Peter, JP, it's Jeremy. How you boys doing this morning?
Hey, Jeremy. How are you, bud?
How you doing?
Thanks for being such a loyal listener. We appreciate you, brother.
Always, man. Like I said, you bring a lot of, great stuff, during the week, keep me entertained. So I appreciate it, especially with all the hosts you have on.
Our pleasure.
But anyway, I couldn't agree with you more with the Tristan Wirfs, holding out, in Light we trust, man. Just let Light do his thing, he will make it work. It's a process, and like I said, Tristan just, keep himself from getting injured. I can respect that. And it's voluntary. It's voluntary.
It's not a holdout.
Exactly.
It's a smart out.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree. And as far as Chris Godwin goes, I expect him to have a big year. I think he's definitely going to play well in the slot. And plus, adding Jalen McMullen is going to help take some, pressure off him a little bit, as far as, like you said, he was still kind of bugging here and there. But at least, it won't be all on Godwin. They can spread it out for Baker, to spread the ball to everybody.
Great point. Great point. Team football, Jeremy, what it's all about, man. Thanks for the call. Appreciate you. And that's what you love about this Bucs team. Their culture is so team oriented. There just aren't, there don't no me guys. They're just not. It's not part of the culture. The ones they have been removed. Thank goodness. All right, let's welcome in our good friend from Bay Area Modern Medical Center, the great Chris Lugo.
Yeah.
We're having such a Gator fest here today with Thaddeus. Yeah, there you go. See, I'm all in. Go Gators.
I'm sorry, man. I can't. I can't, guys.
I did the Ernest Graham show for many, many years, and Ernest was a great friend. He's moved down to Naples now, and now his son is at UF, and Titus's son's at UF. So I don't know. We're gonna have to become a Gator fan. I got my Gator blue on, right?
Let's get him in FSU. Let's get him in the transfer portal to FSU.
No, that's disrespectful.
Thank you.
Yeah. How are you, partner?
Unbelievable. You guys doing well? Good to see you, Pete.
Yeah. Good to see you too. Yeah.
Good to see everybody got to convert you over to be a Gator. I love it.
Yeah. So what's going on over at Bay Area Modern Medical Center? Anything going around? Anything we need to know?
Chris Godwin, he needs some stem cells. Talk to Ryan Jensen.
Well, now people are going to go, well, it didn't work out so well for Ryan Jensen. But
well, a grenade went off in Ryan Jensen's knee. But when the guy's hunting mountain lions in the offseason in Colorado, I think stem cells work pretty good.
Yeah.
He's functioning. He's walking around pretty well for a grenade going off on his knee. He's a high class athlete. So yes, he probably needs a little more work done, but that's beside the point. But for most people, that stem cells work pretty damn good.
Yeah. So you got to believe that Chris is getting stem cell therapy.
I hope.
I would think, right?
I don't want to be the guy going, oh, have you thought about stem cells? He should have already been thought about that, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. And he
hasn't already gotten them.
We did a big, I was having a conversation with a bunch of my buddies about stem cells. They were asking me about it because I had such great effectiveness from my stem cell treatment that I got from Dr. Locke's many years ago. And now I need to get a little bit of a replenishment. And it's something that you're very much up on. Give us an update on this. I know you have to kind of go overseas to get the good stuff, right? Uh-oh. No,
look at this. Look at this. You got a box right
What is that?
Box right there. So yeah, one of my patients is coming in to get stem cells today. The difference between what I can do here in the States and what happens across abroad is the fact that the FDA, Pete, your FDA will not allow me to tell them how many mesenchymal, however you want to pronounce it, stem cells are actually in those vials. That's the difference. Overseas, they can say we've isolated them and you're going to get 100 million, 200 million mesenchymal stem cells. And that's what we want. We want the golden children, as we would talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot in those vials. I just don't have the exact number because the FDA will not let Vidi Labs put a number on there. That is taboo. That is illegal for them to do that. So that's the downfall. So as was it the guy said earlier, in light we trust. Well,
yes.
And Vidi Labs, I trust that they're making a good quality product. And then people say, well, it's come from an umbilical stem cell. I'm like, if they all are coming from umbilical stem cells, that's where they're all coming from.
That's good.
But the difference is I can't tell you, JP, you're getting 100 million mesenchymal. You're going to have to trust me that, hey, it's a good amount of stuff. But some people want to know that number.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference.
Well, can you give me a couple shots in the knees? Back in the knees?
Yeah.
I need a shot in the back. That's what I need.
I need one of those too.
Go and see this man right here, Bay Area Modern Medical. He'll sit down with you for 2-3 hours, and yours truly here. Once again, the oil light came on. I got a little bit worried. Ever since I've gone and seen the doc here, I've been a lot better. I'm not waking up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with acid reflux. He helped me out. He answered all my questions. So what are you waiting for? It's Bay Area Modern Medical.
Thanks, Pete.
Absolutely.
Shocking development that you get that. So what stem cells right now for not the pro athlete, but us, weekend warriors, what's working? What are you suggesting? It depends on, obviously what the issues are, right? What are you hearing?
I don't segregate between a weekend warrior and a pro athlete. I get the best of stem cells that we can get, which are the umbilical stem cells and the exosomes. They go combination like a 1-2 punch. They work really well together symbiotically. they're not a one and done treatment though, and you have to have that expectations up front. That's why these stem cell companies are popping up left and right around the country now, because they know that they're going to sell you on the package deal that, hey, this is going to be something you're going to be doing every 3 to 6 months for a couple of years. And you're looking at anywhere from $5,000, $10,000 a treatment, depending on how many stem cells you're getting, right? If you go abroad, you're going to be paying anywhere from 25 to 30, depending on how many stem cells you get. Okay. Are they going to be intravenously? Are they going to be intracapsular or go into a joint? Where are they going? So that's the difference.
Wow. So that can get pricey, but if you need some information on it, go to BayAreaModernMedicalCenter.com.
You can get pricey, correct. Yeah.
Contact
I
them.
usually tell you your budget will limit you on what you can do.
Yeah. But and people are going to say, does it work? Does it work? What's been your experience?
You've had it done. Joe Rogan's had it done.
Tremendously.
His dad's had it done. This guy named Big Nasty Ryan Jensen's had it done. I've known the stories. I've heard the patients talk about meeting a professional athlete who says, "Oh my God, it made a difference to me." That to me is a no-brainer.
It's a big deal. Yeah, I would agree. Now I sent you a little article I found on Twitter. I don't know how much you want to talk about.
McCullough, yeah. So he's got his little protocol for, to me, it's vaccine protocol versus the long COVID protocol. He's using kinase, he's using curcumin, and what was the other one? There's 3 in there.
Starts with N, nicotase or something.
No, that's nattokinase. There's another one there, but the nattokinase is the only one that's really a little bit different, and that really and truly is just to help prevent the blood clots. I'm going to throw fish oil in there also, 8 grams a day, 4 in the morning, 4 in the evening, if they're Thorne Super EPA Pro version. But you got to take enough fish oil to help out, and that'll be to do very similar things. That's going to thin out the blood also.
So, and this is for people that have long COVID or may have what they believe are vaccine injuries. It's
vaccine injuries. And that's what that article was talking about. He's thinking that in the next 3 to 5 years and you're already starting to see articles pop up now already. People, all these young people now with cancers, stomach cancers, and colon cancers. Like the numbers are staggering here in the past few years. Why are those all of a sudden going up? Are people just talking about it now, or are the numbers actually really truly changed since the vaccine's been out? Okay,
whatever the cause, it's happening. And people. And I read an article the other day about ivermectin being a cancer treatment. What do we? I mean, we're not saying.
I haven't seen that article, so I don't want to quote on and say, "Hey, it is a cancer treatment." But there are a lot of drugs that are repurposed out there, and that's the people I hear talk to me about when I give out GLP. Oh, this is a diabetic drug. No, it's not a diabetic drug. It's intended for other things too. It just that helps diabetics too. Metformin originally treated as a diabetic drug, but metformin is used for anti-aging. A lot of people who are doing anti-agers are using metformin. It's a dirty drug in the sense that it hits multiple receptors. So when I say it's dirty, it doesn't mean it's bad. Dirty means that we don't know. It's not very site-specific, targeted. You are correct.
Yeah, but it's helping people, and that's
helping people. And that drug's been out for 50 years. I mean, come on.
And this is why talking to you is always so fascinating, because there's so much in health that I've learned from you. And I think there's so many old ways of doing things that people still cling to because these doctors still cling to it. And it's modern medicine. Yeah, it is it's changed tremendously in the past 5 to 10 years. And you're on the cutting edge of it. So that's why we love bringing you on and talking about these particular things. So if you've got any issues going on, give Chris a call and talk it through. There's a lot of new therapies that are out there that maybe your other doctors aren't talking about.
Correct.
So a lot of
blood markers they're not looking at that they should be looking at, right?
Mm-hmm. By the way, I need my script for my blood work and get some more testosterone. So
I'm going to forget this conversation as soon as I get off the
air. Of course, yeah. All right, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo, you're the best, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Go Gators.
Have a great weekend.
It's that kind of day. So.
You got to quit saying that. I know what you're saying. I know what you're trying to do, but don't lose yourself.
I believe it.
Don't lose yourself here now. You're a Florida State graduate. Now act like it.
Well, when we play them, I ain't rooting for the Gators, but other than that, I'm finding myself more amenable to root for the Gators. And listen, if they fire Billy Napier because they only win 4 or 5 games this year, it will be the dumbest thing they ever do. I'm not saying I know for sure he's the guy, but he's doing a lot of good things, and that schedule is brutal.
The rumor is in 2025,
I saw it.
Florida Gators is going to be Deion Sanders. What a kick in the kick in what that would be for Florida State. If Deion goes from Colorado to Florida, he could have been hired by Florida State, and he coaches their arch rival.
Right now, from what I've seen in his coaching, bring it on.
Okay.
Bring it on. I
don't know if I want to see that still, though. I just don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Who wants to
listen,
see that?
We're talk show hosts.
Yeah, I know.
We root for interesting. What could be more dramatic and interesting than that?
Oh, that rivalry will definitely pick up now.
Take on a whole new level.
Absolutely. Yeah. Norvell versus Sanders going forward.
I tell you what, though, Billy Napier's done a hell of a job recruiting. Now he's got to prove that he can coach a little bit better and maybe hire some better assistant coaches. I think that may be one of his issues. But he'll get it straight. I think you got to be patient with him if you're a Gator fan. And I get it. It's hard. It's been 3 losing seasons in a row. We went through it at FSU. It sucks. But we were smart enough to go cut through a lot of the media noise when things weren't going the way maybe people thought they should. Fire Mike Norvell, blah, blah. I'm like, no. This guy's got something special. I see something special in him. Stick with it. And he's turned around the Titanic was heading in the wrong direction, and he's done it. He's done it much faster than I thought he ever could.
Yeah.
Through the transfer portal. So, all right, we did not get to a lot of stuff that I wanted to get to. I wanted to talk about the Jade Rashada thing. We got time for that tomorrow, so we'll get to some of these bigger.
We need another hour on Wednesday.
We do.
Look at
we do, bro.
Right now, 170 people total watching across all social media platforms. Thank you very much. We appreciate you here on the JP Peterson Show.
But we got plenty of time tomorrow to talk about it, so bring your butt back here tomorrow. Remember, if you can't come 10 to 12, we are on as a podcast. You can always go to YouTube and watch the show as well. Go to Twitter to watch the show. It's on Facebook. It's always there for a replay, or download the podcast app that we have. We have an app, FanStream Sports. Download that. Just hit that app, and you can get our show and the others on the FanStream Sports Network. So lots of easy ways to do it. We thank you guys for supporting us. Big things coming in the future. Thank you, Peter. Great job, my friend. Huge thanks to Titus. Huge thanks to Eric Erlinson and Chris Lugo. It's been a great show today. If you missed any, go watch it again. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.